and welcome to West Suffolk College TV News. This week we have some great stories for you. We've got a live broadcast from Lauren with the students from Third Degree Production Weekend in a bit, but first, today's stories. Matthew with some tips to keep Christmas trees alive over the Christmas period. We've got some members from the Days in to talk about their new music later on, and Declan's once again on to review Macbeth, a performance by the students of Con East and sports by Logan and Travis. But first, let's talk about last week's events. Last Thursday, the WOW Festival took place at University Studies, aims towards the arts. We've got a clip from the event, so let's take a look. It looked very interesting. And now their next event is on Thursday, the 12th of January, and that's geared towards those with interest in health, education, psychology, and social sciences. Remember, if you do have any events coming up you'd like us to showcase, please contact us via any of the methods shown at the bottom of the screen. So now let's go over to Lauren over in Walton-on-the-Naze. Over to you, Lauren.
Thank you, Kira. Today I'm joined here with Ocean 6, who are shooting a film called The Third Degree. We're here at Walton-on-the-Naze. So, how did you guys feel today?
Cold.
Pretty cold, yeah.
It's rather windy today.
So, because it's December, why did you guys pick to do your film on a beach?
That's what the script says. That's a good question.
Oh, you had to pick a script?
Yeah. The general public wrote a bunch of scripts, and they were all interesting. But we found this one, and it made the most sense. Sure.
So,
Came to us.
It spoke to me.
could you summarise what your film is about?
So basically, this man here, he's so in love with nature and the sea and her beauty, and he comes to this beach to confess his love, and then he just wades in undressed.
I love it. That's really moving. So, your actor dropped out last minute, so was that stressful? How did you find a solution?
Well, when Katie broke the news to me that our actor has dropped out, it was very concerning because we only had, 5 days? Yeah. And so I thought, well, I have an idea. I will call my friend Nouch. And here he is.
Here's the guy.
Here's the guy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, how did you feel having to do it last minute?
There's a lot of stress and pressure because I had to basically read the whole script to make sure I knew what I was doing. And when I realised I was getting in the sea and it's literally December, I was not too pleased, to say the least.
I'm not surprised. So, obviously, yesterday was going to be the main day that you guys were filming, but you only got a couple shots. So, what were the problems you had yesterday?
Well, God basically said no to the film yesterday and decided
hard.
to make it rain.
Batteries as well.
Morale was very low.
On the camera, what happens to the camera?
Oh yeah, it started filming in slow motion, which we had to call someone, but there was no service, so that it's annoying.
It took us about 2 hours to fix
Yeah.
that. So we lost a lot of time, and we had to go back because it was raining. So yesterday, it just wasn't meant to be. I think it's because it was just way too nice of weather. Until it started raining, obviously. But the sea was warmer.
And there was no wind.
And so, it just wasn't meant to be because he had to be absolutely freezing.
Yeah.
That's why.
You guys went in the sea yesterday as well. How was that?
That was fun.
Yeah, that was. It was very cold, but it was quite,
It was exhilarating.
Yeah.
That's the way to word it.
Still can't feel my toes.
So, what's been going on today so far? How's it been going?
Slept for an alarm.
It was a bit of a late start. We've been quite tired. But we got down here about 10 and we've just been filming lots of filming and then huddling over there just to get warm out of the wind and then back to filming. So, cracking it out.
Do you think you'll finish it all today, or?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
basically done.
We're on
now.
the last
Yeah.
scene, basically.
We're almost done, you know, and it feels good.
Okay, brilliant. Back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And so I'm sat here with Jamie and Una, and they were also at this weekend. So can you give us some behind the scenes of like what happened?
Yeah, so they were filming for a total of 2 days, but they managed to get everything completed, didn't they?
Yeah, but they mostly filmed for one day because on the original day that they were meant to be filming, it started raining, they woke up late, a lot of problems.
So much went on, but part of that is kind of down to us because we were meant to wake them up at 9, but we were meant to wake them up at like 7. We wanted a bit of a lay-in, didn't have a good night.
Yeah.
So we came in at 9, so they started filming a bit late. So we put them a bit behind schedule, but I don't take responsibility for that. But then when they got over the rain, well, they have a £10,000 camera that they're filming on. It's not waterproof.
Yeah.
You'd think that for £10,000 it'd be water resistant. So they were coming back because it started raining again, and they were put like bin bags on the camera. So they were still trying to. So obviously had a deadline, so they were trying to meet it. But then like a couple more things went wrong, like they didn't have leads.
They didn't have wires, so they had to buy those.
But Louis did a really good job being a director, didn't he?
Yeah, the teamwork, he really brought them all together and directed well.
So how many people were on the set in total?
I would say about 12 of us,
Yeah,
including
12 of us
us.
together, but like 7 of them.
Mm.
And then on the second day, they actually lost 2 members, that being Tabitha and Adam. So I think they had a lot of problems, but they got past them, which was really impressive.
Yeah, so do we know like the schedule of when this film's going to be coming out?
So it's currently in the editing process right now. So when that's going to be completed, they've not actually got a deadline. So it's whenever they complete it.
Okay, so that's really exciting. So they've got all their footage they needed and they're just editing it now, yeah?
Yeah.
They had to cut a lot out of the script because they were kind of short on time and they didn't have a shovel because they were meant to bury Nouch, the main character, under the sand, but they didn't get a shovel in time, so they had to cut quite a lot of it out, which meant less filming.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why did they not take a shovel with them?
Yeah, they were quite underprepared. But
Yeah, we don't talk about it though.
Right, okay.
they thought they could buy one there, but Walton is a very small town.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Poor guys.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add on that?
Well, I think overall it was quite a successful weekend. Everything went well. We managed to get over all the obstacles, especially Louis. He was a really good director, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you guys for telling us all about it, and I hope it goes well for them from now on. Now we welcome on Matt, and he's here with some tips to keeping our Christmas trees alive this year. So, Matt, what have you got for us today?
Well, first I've got a little cracker.
We've got
Are you
a
ready?
Christmas cracker.
I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work.
Is it
Ready?
actually going to like explode?
1,
Right,
2.
okay. Oh,
Oh,
I
you
won!
won.
What have we got?
What have you got?
Oh, plants.
You got a little propagator thing. And we got some sweet peas.
Some sweet peas.
Now I'm going to sow these next week on the show.
You're going to... Are they ready for the winter now? Can you do them in the
You
winter?
can plant them now and then they'll stay in there and then they'll come up in the spring. Hopefully.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hopefully. What's this? The hat?
They are pretty flowers.
I
No,
thought
that's
it
it is a plant marker.
Ah,
Should
okay.
come with a plant growers
What I'm
guide
talking
as well.
about today
Oh, okay.
is Christmas trees.
Christmas trees.
What went in?
It's a beautiful little Christmas tree.
It is. It's fake snow.
It's
but
fake snow, but is it a real tree?
It is.
Right,
I
and
think.
so how are we keeping our Christmas trees alive over the Christmas holidays?
Well, I can't quite bear cutting down a Christmas tree just for our enjoyment. So if you can, get one that's potted. It may not survive. But a house is it's a very strange environment and a climate for a tree. So I have one in my garden that's been there for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I got it. It's like it's a bit like this, but it's thick, really. Oh, but it's snow.
Yeah, a bit of
It's
snow.
Just a stick, really. It's
Mhm.
grown. It must be about that big now.
Wow.
But yeah, it's growing.
You're going to bring that in over the Christmas period? You
I
can
think
leave it
it's
outside.
too big. Oh,
It's too big.
I thought you meant here.
No, not here. You're going to leave
Um,
it out of your house.
Yeah, I'll be on the front door.
Nice.
But I think the best way is to keep it long lasting is give it plenty of water, keep it cool, and then you'll have one that lasts for years.
I don't know about keeping it cool. I like to be quite toasty over the Christmas
Yeah.
holidays. So poor tree might not make it past Christmas.
But if you do want to cut one down, there are ways of keeping it alive. So just like when you cut flour, you have a cut flour to put in a vase. What you want to do when you get home, recut the bottom of the tree, because that will allow the vessels to open up more and allow more water to go up to the tree, and it should work. Hopefully.
Wow. Well, there you go. Christmas
There you
trees.
go.
I just like a good old reusable one. Had the same tree for like 20 years.
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
like
we
Louis
can keep
ones.
this for years.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I do like the appeal of this one more than this
Yeah.
one.
I think it's just a bit gappy.
Yeah, it's not as
Yeah.
fluffy.
I think you need to make them a bit more fluffy
And less,
and less colourful.
not more tree-like, really.
Yeah.
More tree-like.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Matt,
Thank
for
you.
coming on. Next up, we have the Days, where we are going to be talking about their new release. So, welcome, Flo and Toby. Can you tell me what your roles are in your band, The Days?
I play guitar.
I play guitar and I also sing.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And you seem pretty young. So, how long has Days been like a thing? How long have you been in the group?
Well, I've been in the group since maybe 2017, so quite a while. And then when did you join?
2019, I think.
2019.
But neither of us are original members.
Okay.
Yeah, so the band's been going longer than both of us, but yeah.
Okay, and so how did the band start?
We started through QRS, who let us use their studio space, and yeah, on from there really.
So Queen's Road Studios?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then how would you describe your music?
We've been described as garage rock, but we never normally go for a singular genre. We just write music that is.
Yeah.
That's just, it just is.
Yeah.
It just is.
Just
Okay.
is.
And then, so you've done a lot of gigs. What would you say is your best gig?
My best gig was definitely Strawberry Fair, probably because we had a really big crowd and the sound on the stage was amazing as well.
Yeah, and then what about you?
I'd probably say the same for pretty much the same reasons.
Yeah. And then, so which was your weirdest gig, if you've got one? You got one?
I'd say Peterborough, personally. A few weeks ago, we did a gig in Peterborough and it was in a tiny venue on an industrial estate, and there was probably 7 people in the audience. But it was a really fun gig and we had a really good time, but it was just very surreal.
Yeah. And I hear you entered in some competitions. So what kind of competitions were they?
We won our heat in 2020 for Bury Sound, and then we won this year Cambridge under 18s.
Okay.
Overall, I think.
Yeah, so we've got a video of you guys playing in some gigs. So let's take a look.
It's just me and you now.
So that was amazing. And I hear you've got a new song coming out, Apartment 11. What's that about?
Well, we're not really sure what it's about because our singer Albert wrote the lyrics and hasn't told us what it means.
He always gives us very ambiguous answers when we ask, so
you don't really know what it's about?
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
And then when and where did you record that?
We recorded it in the bunker at West Suffolk.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And then when are you guys next playing? When's your next gig?
Our next gig is this Friday at the college. We're playing with a lot of other bands like the Moochers, Last Minute. It's going to be really good.
Yeah. And then so Queen's Road Studios, they are part of this. They are your label, would you say?
In a way, yes. Yeah.
And then so you've got a independent run volunteer festival coming up, Strawberry Fair. What can you tell me about that coming up?
We think that we'll be playing there alongside the rest of the bands that are performing on Friday and more as well in the future.
Yeah.
Wow, so you'll be playing there again?
Yeah.
It's really exciting. And then is there anything else that you could, like any other events coming up that you guys are part of?
This year not really, but next year we've got a lot of good gigs coming up at the Hunter Club, which will be really fun. Playing alongside a lot of really cool bands.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I look forward to hearing more about your music in the future. Thank you. Next up, we have Declan's show review. So, welcome on, Declan. What show did you see last week?
Macbeth, and it was really good actually. I enjoyed how they portrayed the three witches. It was like they were on the backdrop and it was like their shadow.
Right, okay. They weren't like actually there.
Yeah, they weren't actually on stage, but their presence was there.
I think the production's going really, really well. The cast diction is really, really good and it's really suspenseful. Everything about the lighting and the set is really clean and the cast are just doing really amazing.
Yeah. Really professional. They're like, there's been no mistakes pretty much.
Yeah, I'm proud of all of them.
I think it's very good. I've seen quite a few pieces at this theatre.
The stage design, yeah, I like the use of levels and how we have different places sort of demarked for different areas of the plot. I also like how the witches are represented as well. How like we don't always see them, but they're like a sort of always a presence.
It's naturalistic. It's not too complicated for the time and the period, and obviously it's Shakespearean era. So there's not like too much staging going on. It's very like neat and nice.
Fascinated by like the levels and all like the lighting is very good. Yeah, it's very good.
They're creating different atmospheres that you're seeing by the way they're lighting it, and I think they're doing a wonderful job. I think it's a powerful piece. And
it's done quite like cleverly because of like the levels, and they can put so many different characters on levels that they like equate with, which is quite good. I like it.
I think the sound effects are really, really good. I can hear them really clearly.
It's all good. Them little crow calls, they scare me a little bit.
All the smoke and things. Setting the scene is really cool, like all the colours as well, like for them.
Yeah.
And the special effects are really, really good. The blood effects are really good.
Really like the lighting and the use of kind of dramatic stuff during the
And the blood,
and the blood. Yeah, during like the Duncan murder scene, there was the red lighting.
They're creating different atmospheres that you're seeing by the way they're lighting it.
Favourite bit. It's got to be the little knocking at the door with Grace doing a little devil horn.
It's really good that they put some comedy in there. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting it.
No,
I didn't know it was
really
going to be there, so it was cool.
What did you think of the actors? How did they perform?
They really did good. Especially in the final act. I really loved that. How they portrayed the fighting scenes and basically all the lighting and the effects.
And was there a particular character that stuck out to you?
Probably, I believe it's Macduff. And it's when he's basically murdered and appears to.
He's in the banquet hall, isn't he? Doesn't he come back and like haunts Macbeth or something? Yeah.
And I love how they had him covered in blood.
Ooh.
It was so cool.
Is it gory?
Not really, but it looked really good.
Yeah. And so, was that just a last week show, or is it still going on? Do you know?
That was just last week's show.
Just last week, okay. And do you know what show's on next?
I believe they have a Christmas one coming up. Not sure what it's called, but it's going to be really good, I think.
That's so exciting. I look forward to hearing more about the Christmas one. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. And now we're going to go over to our sports correspondents, Travis and Logan.
Hello and welcome back to the sports section where we're going to be talking all things World Cup. Obviously England played last night, our home country, which is fantastic, and won 3-0. So what are your first impressions on the game?
Expected a win, really. African champions though, so it's good to get 3 goals past them. But Bellingham was great.
Oh, he was excellent.
Saka, another good performance. Jordan Henderson, obviously coming into the side with Sterling's issues, so changing positions a little bit. He did well, he's got a goal as well. But and then we now move on to Saturday and we get France.
Yeah, that'll be a tough game. And you know, quickly moving on to the France game. Watching how we played against Senegal, how do you think France will compare, and how do you think our chances are?
Well, 3 out of France's 4 games, they all conceded. We only conceded once. Against worse oppositions as well. I think we'll win.
And it was and the 2 goals that we scored against Iran, one was really from an individual error and one was from a set piece, wasn't it, from a penalty. So and it's quite similar actually to I was saying to my mum last night, that it's quite similar to how we did in the Euros, where we just didn't concede many goals until was it the semi-final against Denmark?
Semi-final, yeah. Set piece.
And then obviously we drew 1-1 to Italy and lost on penalties. And moving back on to France, do you think a back 3 could be an option for Gareth Southgate?
I think the lineup against Senegal was good to stick with. I think,
But just because you've got Kylian Mbappe, do you think it might be better?
I think it could be an option. Obviously, leave it an option, but see how we with a 4-3-3. Was it 4-3-3?
Yeah, it was 4-3-3. Well, it looked like a 4-2-3-1 sometimes, but and obviously the news came out yesterday as well, just before the game, about Raheem Sterling. And that his house had been broken into by armed raiders, and he had to go home.
Yes,
but apparently he's still committed to the World Cup and he should return for the France game.
Fingers crossed.
So why don't you give me your predictions for the round of 16 games that are coming up?
The ones remaining?
Yeah, the ones remaining.
So I've gone with, I think Japan will progress over Croatia, 2-0. And then Brazil, I think they'll beat Korea 5-2.
I think Korea will get a few, to be fair.
Oh, hang on. And then there's Morocco. I think they'll push Spain, but I don't think they'll win. So Spain go through 2-1, sorry. And then Portugal, I think, will beat Switzerland 2-1 as well.
No, some very close games there, aren't there? And it's so unpredictable this year because, you know, you've got shock results like Saudi Arabia and Argentina, so you just don't know what's really going to happen. Thank you, Logan, for joining me. And this week's cliche of the week is managerial merry-go-round, which means it's basically the period of time at the end of the season when managers most are likely to leave or join another club. So that's why it's kind of called the merry-go-round. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have,
phrase? Yeah, so it's usually, I think, kind of from, when does the season end? Around July to kind of mid-August around. And so that's where the phrase comes from. It's pretty simple phrase again, it being a merry-go-round, so there's not really much origin for that one. But that about wraps it all up for us. And now we're going to move on to the papers.
So let's take a look at the papers. Hannah, why don't you start us off today?
Yep, so just this week, a 7th child dies from strep, and the NHS is urging parents to take their children to the doctors if they start showing any symptoms, so like sore throat when swallowing, fever, skin rashes, headaches. And obviously it's quite a life-threatening disease. Obviously we've got part of the news article, we've got Camilla Rose, aged 4, in hospital, and she is struggling for her life. But it's quite bad this winter season with the new ongoing strep disease.
Yeah, and so how are they contracting it? Is it in the air? Is it something
It's through everything, really. It's through bacteria, touch, just sitting next to other students, and it is highly contagious at the moment. And obviously, luckily, not many children have died from this, but obviously the ones who have, it's been quite serious, but it has been quite contagious. So just urging children to be
wary of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's really sad. Hopefully they find out how they can mitigate this problem more in the future.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? What have you got?
Well, I've got a bit more upbeat. I've got Peter Kay is finally back. So he's been away for 12 years.
Wow.
Which I didn't think it was that long.
Long old time.
But he did his first show, first couple of shows actually, last week. And he's actually blown away by the audience, and he actually cried on stage.
Oh, bless
because of the
him.
reaction. And they gave him a 2-minute round of applause.
Wow.
It's quite a long time.
Your hands must get tired.
Yeah, it must be
Not gonna
red
lie.
raw.
Yeah.
But the lovers of Peter Kay were in for a treat with observations about modern day technology, a new twist on garlic bread,
Garlic bread.
and a sing-along from some of the 70s advertising jingles.
Oh.
Do you know any?
No.
I think I know one.
Go.
How does it go?
If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, then join our club. I think that's how it goes.
Never
How
heard
is
that.
that- is that meant to
That's
be
the club.
Christmas
That's the
jingle?
club.
The club.
Oh, the club
club
chocolate
bar, yeah.
bars. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's how it goes.
Never heard of that before in my
It's a
life.
bit pitchy, sorry. Anyway, what have you got?
So I've got Great Scott. More than 22,000 lights illuminate home. So a Suffolk man has revealed a massive display on his house for the 5th year in a row. His name is Daniel Scott of Scotty Lights, and he has over 22,000 LED lights, so green, red, blue lights on his home, and they are all tuned in to 14 different songs. So when a song comes up, the lights all change to like match up. It's really quite spectacular. And so he also does quite a lot of work for raising money for charity for this. So he did, he raised £1,320 for the air ambulance in the last 2 years because of his lights. So I think that's just such an amazing thing, being able to say, I just decorated my home and raised money for such an amazing charity. And then he also won the Ipswich Star Best Christmas Lights display last year, which raised an additional £500. He said it's a bit of a family tradition, but I think it's just amazing how he could take something as simple as Christmas lights and make such a beautiful display, all these beautiful colours, and just he plans it from like February, because it takes 2 hours to program 30 seconds of each song to walk to the light. Yeah, so it takes a very long time, and then he's got to put all the lights up and everything. So it's quite, it's a lot of work for.
I'm worried about his electricity bill.
Yeah, that's the only thing. His
Yeah.
electricity bill has got to be sky high this time of year at the moment in the current conditions. But I hope that he continues to do it because it is such a beautiful message and kind of just sight, really. It's, some of the designs are pretty detailed. They do look really nice.
They do.
Yeah, so that's all for papers today.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, thank you guys all for joining us. Remember, if you do have any events coming up that you would like us to showcase, please contact us on any of the methods shown at the bottom of the screen and keep up to date on our socials. Play us out today, we have 3 Years Younger, created by Level 4 media students, and the song is called Close the Door. Now, I hate to say goodbye, but we're going to. Thank you so much for watching this show. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much and goodbye. See you later.
Shut the door to my room. People crowd the kitchen, my tube blaze from the speaker, fridge of drugs for my scars. Haven't left this flat in months, not like the other ones. Body weak, life on hold, always bent in a rope. Thought this would be my break, all this freedom just forget. From the head gone at once, can't get out, I'm so stuck, so used to this makes me sick. Never normal just for once. Gotta face the fact I'll never be well again. Close the door to my friends, pandemic's so tough. Then just spoken I've lost the battle, so scared of how they rattle me myself. I can't tell. This time I'm really in, there's not much left in me. Body weak, life on hold, whole life spent in a rope. Thought this would be my break, college freedom, just forget. I made the same mistake, pushed myself past my break. Oh, to just try and live, now buckle over and break. Gotta face the fact I'll never be one again. Close the door to my friends. Pandemic so tough, just broken bones and scars like me. Time to give up now, I have no luck. Bedbound, not homebound, race against the clock. Time to give up now, I have no luck. Bedbound, not homebound, my time is up. Time to give up now, I have no luck. Bedbound, not homebound, race against the clock. Time to give up now, I have no luck. Bedbound, not homebound, my time is up. Gotta face the fact I'll never be well again. Close the door to my friends. Pandemic so tough, and just broken bones and scars like me. Face the fact I'll never be well again. Close the door to my friends. Pandemic so tough, and just broken bones and scars like me.